Hi guys, as you can tell by my background, I absolutely love books. So I'm going to be showing you what I am hopefully going to read in June. I forgot what month it was. So these are very varied. Mainly have a lot of romance aspects to them, but I'll explain each book and why I've chose it for this month and why I'm hoping to read it. So my goal usually is 2 books a month, but I think I'm gonna read slightly more because I have a 5 hour drive, and I've got to do that twice, 5 hours to get to my destination, spend a week on holiday, and then 5 hours back. So I think that I'm gonna read a little bit more than I usually do, just because of that drive. So let me explain why I've chose each book. So first off, we have As Good as Dead. This is the third book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and if we read the book, it says Pip Fitzzambroni is haunted by her last investigation, but soon a new case finds her, and it's about Pip. She now has a stalker, one who keeps asking who will look for you when you're the one who disappears. Ooh. Pip soon discovers a connection between her stalker and her local serial killer, but the police refuse to act. As the dangerous game plays out, it's clear that if Pip doesn't find the answers, she's as good as dead. Ooh, that sounds really interesting. And I'm really curious about the duct tape on the cover, because on the first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, it had red string, and that was to do with the investigation. And then the second one had the headphones, which was to do with the podcast. I wonder what the tape has to do with. Then a romance book, we have the final one of the series, Twisted Lies. So the reason why I kind of did a little weird skip, so I read the 3 books in this series. Then I thought that in June the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series was coming out, but it's actually in fact July. So that's why I was trying to read this series before this book series before the TV show comes out, because I didn't want to get spoilers, and I like to compare the book to the movie, see what they've skipped and stuff like that. So this one, I've obviously been waiting for this one, waiting to read it. So it will be after I've finished this book, it will then move on to Twisted Lies, which I've had a couple of spoilers about, but nothing too big. From what I know, Christian, the CEO, the owner of the apartment building, he falls in love with obviously the final couple in the series, because apparently she has a stalker, she's an influencer. Let me explain it. Charming, deadly, and smart enough to hide it, Christian Harper is a monster dressed in a perfectly tailored suit of gentleman. He has little use for morals and even less use for love, but you can't deny the strange pull he feels towards the woman living just one floor below him. She's the object of his darkest desires, the only puzzle he can't solve. And when the opportunity to get closer to her arises, he breaks his own rules to offer her a deal she can't refuse. Every monster has their weakness. She's his obsession, his addiction, his only exception. Ooh, that sounds juicy. That sounds juicy. And I've heard good things about this when I've accidentally scrolled on it on TikTok, because I am very late to the Twisted series. Now we have this one, which I have Storygraph, and Storygraph has told me this one has been in my TBR the longest, so I'm trying to read the books which would be my TBR the longest, instead of reading all the new ones and then the old ones just collecting dust and stuff. So up close and personal, this is another romance book. Let me read it to you. British actor Zach Edwards is the latest heartthrob to hit the red carpets. Hot, talented, and rich, he sends women wild, all except one. Close protection officer Kat Parker hasn't got time to play celebrity games. She has one job: to protect Zach from the stalker that seems to be dodging his every move. Zach might get her hot under a very starched collar, but Kate's a professional, and sleeping with Zach is no way part of her remit. Ooh, so is it more of falling in love? She's like, oh, I shouldn't fall in love, but she does. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. It sounds really good. I remember reading this, like the back of it, and I'd be like, yes, I definitely want to read this. This sounds really good. And that's why I picked it up. And I can't believe I just like put it at the back of my pile and forgot about it. So, I know this isn't the first book in the series. I know Reckless isn't the first one. But let me explain something. So, my dad got an Amazon order, and this came. And we have no idea where it came from. We've contacted Amazon. Amazon's like, we have no idea where this come from. So, free book, I guess. So I don't think you have to read them in a specific order. That's what I've read so far. But I want to read this because they're on a deal at the works. And if I like this, then I will get the other books in the series. I'm also considering getting the Windy City series. So if anyone knows anything about Windy City, let me know. But this is a cowboy romance. So let me read it. Theo Silver, rowdy bull rider, notorious ladies' man, scorching hot trouble wrapped up in a drool-worthy package, and he's looking at me like I might be his next meal. I'm almost free of my toxic marriage and have sworn off men entirely, so all I see when I look at Theo is temptation served up with a heaping side of heartbreak. The man is hard to trust and even harder to resist. Make that impossible because Theo is persistent, and no matter how hard I try to freeze him out, it melts my icy exterior and pulls apart my defences. Then I spend the singular hottest night of my life with him. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, a secret, but that little plus sign is going to make this secret impossible to keep. Ooh, right. It has a pregnancy trope in it. Now, I'm not a big fan of pregnancy tropes, but the rest of it sounds very, very interesting. It sounds like a one-night stand gone wrong, where she was just supposed to like let loose, have fun, have no connections, and then obviously she's fallen for this guy and now she's pregnant. It sounds interesting. I will let you know what I think, and hopefully the pregnancy trope isn't like the main factor of this. Hopefully it's just like a very steamy romance. But yeah, they're the books I'm hoping to read this month. If you want to see like my progress on my books, then I will put them on my Instagram, and I will also obviously review them on my Storygraph as well, and then you can see how far along I am with each book on my Storygraph as well. I don't use Goodreads because Goodreads is owned by Amazon, and I like to support smaller businesses, so I will try and link my my Storygraph below, and then obviously my Instagram is the same username as my YouTube. But these are the books, and thank you for watching.